They've nothing to offer to our children. Their future is a future of violence. It's a future of hatred, of sectarianism, of bitterness. It's a hatred that opens old wounds. We've put that behind us. The people of Northern Ireland don't want to see this happening. We will not allow this to destroy the peace process. We will not allow this to destroy the political progress that has been made. That's what these dissidents want. Their objective is to pull down, and we've got to keep building up.
Geoffrey Donaldson there of the DUP. Well, Thomas Burns, a member of the SDLP, visited the scene of the attack after it had happened. A short while ago, he spoke to a BBC team near the Masserine base.
Well, I'm absolutely shocked, and I'd like to, first of all, condemn this in the highest possible terms, that this has taken us back to old days of dreadful, killing of soldiers. We have moved on an awful lot from that particular time, and this sends a totally and utterly the wrong message.
What are the implications of an attack like this?
Well, this here frightens off investors big time. Big time. People are saying, that we're a settled community, we've put all that behind us, we're looking forward to a brighter future, and suddenly you have 2 deaths here at Masserine Barracks here tonight, killed. I mean, that sends out entirely the wrong message that we want to be sending out.
Does it have political ramifications here?
Oh, of course it has political ramifications. Hugh Ord had obviously got some very good information. He knew that there was an attack planned. It was a state of high alert. Wherever he was getting this information from was very good, but you cannot let Northern Ireland sink back into bad old days of killing of soldiers, starting to kill policemen on the street. We don't want to go back to days where we have armoured police vehicles running up and down, the district policing boards collapsing. Those are all great things that have moved forward and must be kept going.
Do you fear that this may cause a collapse in some of those institutions?
Well, it shouldn't, and it mustn't. It mustn't, but it'll be a frightening thing here to see people getting killed, the police taking a huge big backward step into behind the security. They'll be very frightened of another attack. This is not the biggest army base in the world here, Masserine Barracks in Antrim, but to be out here tonight is dreadful.
What needs to happen now?
Well, everybody needs to keep calm, and cool on this situation. But we've got to get a grip of any dissident Republican activity like this. We can't go back to this killing of people on the street. We've moved forward, and we must move forward quickly, but we cannot go backwards.
But what do the political leaders in Northern Ireland need to do now in light of this attack?
Well, they've got to keep, calm. They've got to, we can't just knee-jerk reaction. We want to keep things moving forward. But we do not want to see, going back to lots of army and all on the street and out there. That is not something that we want to see. We've got to get a grip of this here.
That was Thomas Burns from the SDLP speaking to my colleague in Northern Ireland. Now, we've had a statement from the Ministry of Defence in the last few moments. A spokesman has said that it's with deep regret that they can confirm the death of 2 soldiers and injuries to 4 other personnel in the attack at the Masserine barracks, which seems to suggest to us that all 6 people injured in the attack are army personnel. So 2 deaths of soldiers and injuries to 4 other personnel from the military injured in that attack. They've told us that the next of kin are being informed and that further information will be released in due course. It's also confirmed that the circumstances of the attack are being investigated by the Police Service of Northern Ireland. So that statement from the MOD confirming that 2 soldiers have died and that 4 other personnel from the barracks, we understand, have been injured. The Ministry of Defence says that 2 soldiers have been shot dead and 4 other people injured in an attack at an army base in Northern Ireland. It happened at the Masserine barracks in Antrim. Downing Street described it as a terrible incident that we utterly condemn. The attack happened just 36 hours after Northern Ireland Constable Sir Hugh confirmed that undercover soldiers had been called in to carry out surveillance operations on dissidents amid warnings that the threat against his officers and military personnel was at its highest for almost a decade. The Northern Ireland Secretary Sean Woodward condemned the shootings as an act of criminal barbarism. Well, as you can see, our correspondent Andy Moore is here with me in the studio. Andy, just talk us through what we know about the incident.
Well, we've heard from the Army that 2 soldiers were killed, and they talk about 4 personnel being seriously injured. Now, we don't know whether they're soldiers or civilian security staff, but those 4 have been taken to hospital a mile away, and some of them are seriously injured, we understand. This attack happened at 9:40 last night. The circumstances are confused. We've heard various accounts. We heard from Geoffrey Robinson, a DUP member. He talked about the gunman arriving in a pizza delivery van and actually getting out and getting into the entrance and using long bursts of automatic gunfire there to attack the personnel there. Other accounts talk about a vehicle following in behind the pizza delivery van. Yet another account talks about a taxi being involved in the attack. But it seems that the gunman did get away after this attack. All of these accounts are being investigated by the police service in Northern Ireland. They haven't confirmed any of these details. They have to try and get to the bottom of it themselves.
And we have no idea where the gunmen are right now?
No, we have no idea. We assume, as I said, that they got away, but there will presumably be a manhunt underway to find these gunmen. Who they are, we don't know. Everyone is assuming that they're dissident Republicans, but there's been no claim of responsibility.
This is a very significant incident for Northern Ireland, and is going to have an effect on the political process there. What political reaction has there been so far? Specifically Gordon Brown, who I know has spoken.
Yes, Gordon Brown is being kept updated overnight about the developments there, and he said this is a terrible incident that we utterly condemn, and the Prime Minister's thoughts, first and foremost, are with the families of those killed and with those seriously injured in this attack. In recent days, action has been taken to increase security in Northern Ireland. This is because of the increased threat from those who, even at this late stage, wish to ignore the wishes of the overwhelming majority of the people of Northern Ireland. And he says everything will be done to bring those responsible to justice. We also heard from Ian Paisley Jr., who said this was a defining moment in the history of Northern Ireland. We also heard from the First Minister, Peter Robinson, who's postponed a trip to the USA. He said this was a terrible reminder of the events of the past. He said it was a futile act that will not succeed. Not succeed, he presumably means in undermining the stability of the coalition.
OK. Andy Moore, with that update, thank you very much indeed. Hello and a very warm welcome to BBC News. I'm James Dagwell. There's been a shooting outside a British army base in Northern Ireland. According to the Ministry of Defence, 2 soldiers were killed and several people wounded when shots were fired from a passing car. No organisation has yet said it carried out the attack at Masserine, but it comes within days of a warning by the chief police officer in Northern Ireland that there was a high risk of violence by dissident Republicans who opposed the political process. The British Prime Minister, Gordon Brown, has condemned the incident.
This was thought to be a thing of the past, something Northern Ireland had put behind it. But tonight's attack has been described as potentially a defining moment.
This has taken us back to old days of dreadful, killing